Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm actually recording this on December 31st because the energies did not allow me to be able to record this December 30th or before like I had planned. So, if you're watching this at some point during the week of the waxing quarter moon, welcome. Welcome to this energy that we are all experiencing. It is a new year coming up. It's the first week of the new year of January, getting into our calendar year of January. Um, Tonight is New Year's Eve, so if you're watching this on December 31st, Happy New Year. If you're watching this on January 1st, Happy New Year. Or whenever you're watching this, Happy New Year. Waxing quarter moons are not always comfortable for people because there are lower chakras, which means that it is things that come up for people during this week are generally centered around boundaries. We can make ourselves feel like we need to protect ourselves. We can be very defensive in situations. When we are not in our divine power, we are very scattered because we are trying to control whatever we think we can control, trying to maintain our own power. The problem is not everything is controllable. The only thing that we can control is how we react to a situation. So the week of the waxing quarter moon. Let's talk about the light mastery map. It is the boundaries, the domain for our boundaries, our will, what we're willing to do, support, how supported we feel along our journey, the limits that we have upon ourself and our journey, the limits that we place on ourselves, the limits that we place on other people. And then resources. How resourceful do you think you are during this week? Or what are the resources that you are seeing being provided to you, being guided to in order to step into your journey in a deeper way? And then space. Space is a big one this week. So when we are in our shadow this week, it is two extremes. We could either be in victim mode or we can be in bully mode. We could be in victim mode but then act like a bully because we are being defensive. We can feel disempowered or we can disempower others. And this doesn't necessarily mean by putting someone down. It could also mean that we are doing something for someone else instead of empowering them to do it themselves. So we are essentially breaking through their own personal boundaries, inserting ourselves into their life when we could empower them to do what they need to do in order to move forward themselves. There's a lot of fear of uncertainty will drive this scattered energy. And fears around rejection and abandonment come up during this week if you have any that need to be healed. So what is being in your power on a week of a waxing quarter moon? It is being creative, knowing that you have the creative energy to be resourceful. It is It is honoring your boundaries and other people's boundaries. See what I did there? It is being master of your space. So it is understanding that you have the power to create space for yourself along your journey, but you also have the power to give yourself space from others when you need to, or when they need you to. So in other words, if you see someone triggered, it may not be the right thing to do to step inside their space and go, I need to help fix this with you. They may not be ready for that. They may need space to be able to work on it themselves, and you inserting yourself in their space will actually create more chaos and hurt and not honor their journey or your own. It is understanding what good risk is versus not so good risk. It is listening to your intuitiveness into what is the right action to take in precisely the right timing that it needs to be done. And when you are master of your space, you are master of your space physically, mentally, and emotionally. As always, Archangel Metatron would like to say a few words about this important week that we're going into. When you are in your shadow this week, it is very much recentering yourself. So how is that going to happen? So when you are in your shadow, you are very much in your feminine shadow, which means that you're highly emotional and you are scattered, trying to control anything that's in your grasp. So to center yourself, you're going to lean into that masculine energy where you're going to give yourself the space to logically think things through. Give yourself the space to understand what actions are actually honoring yourself and others. Because I want you to realize that just because you think of an action that will honor yourself, you need to think about it a little bit more to make sure that it also honors the other person. So just because you are lashing out at someone, trying to stand your ground, does not mean that it's necessarily honoring the other person. There is a way to be able to do this work, to maintain relationships or distance yourself in a relationship or from a relationship in a way that is not harsh, in a way that honors the fact that you are on a journey and other people are on their own journey, and it may not be in alignment at this time. And not everything needs the final word to be said by you. Sometimes the highest, most honorable reaction or action to take is to not say anything at all and just give yourself the space that you need and give the other person the space that they need. Okay, Archangel Metatron. I'm going to use 3 decks today. One is the Archangel Metatron deck from Amanda Ellis. The other one is an Angelic Lightwork Healing Oracle deck from Alana Fairchild. And the Gateway Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. So, Archangel Metatron, we are in the waxing moon week of December 30th to January 5th. Knowing the energy for this week. What is the messages you'd like to share with those that will see this video or that will be shared this video in some way, come across this video? Okay, so I was told to pick 2 cards from the top and 1 from the bottom. The 2 from the top, one was codependency. The other one was cup of replenishment. Third one from the bottom, or the one from the bottom, was letting go. Okay. So you see the codependency one. You see how the branches are intertwined. You see how there's a lock on the roots and the key is right there. The trees here are helping each other stand up. What you're being asked to do is to unravel yourself from codependent relationships. You have the key. You have the key. You just need to use it. It's right there. And the key to codependency is to actually lean into interdependency. It is knowing that you as an individual, each tree is an individual. You as an individual can have an interdependent relationship with another, meaning that you can be there for another. You can interact with that other person. You can empower one another to be your best selves without being codependent on them to make your choices for you, to guide you in everything, to be there to lift you up in every situation, or feeling like you need to be the one to lift everyone else up or lift that other person up. Otherwise, if you're not there for them, then they will crumble. And if they do, then and something happens and you're not there, then you feel bad, and that it's all not healthy. The relationships that we are being asked to have, to nurture, are interdependent relationships, meaning that we aren't responsible for other people, but we are co-creating lives with other people. We are honoring their gifts and talents and helping or finding ways to embrace their gifts and talents and honor their gifts and talents, just as they are embracing our gifts and talents and honoring our gifts and talents. We are celebrating each other and co-creating something beautiful with each other without necessarily becoming one like the same person. We are all unique. We are all unique individuals. And we are being asked to honor our own uniqueness. We are being asked to embrace our gifts and talents as being unique, but being able to, they're like pieces of puzzles together. And when we're interdependent, we aren't changing the look of each puzzle piece like we are for codependency. Codependency, we somehow meld it all together so that it looks like the same puzzle piece. And that's not how the big picture looks. For an interdependent relationship, it takes each puzzle piece that is unique in form and color and art. And when you place them together, they make this beautiful picture that is only possible if we are interdependent. Cup of replenishment. I'm just going to read about this one because I love that there's that infinity symbol, and I just want to I'm getting the term golden state of miracles. It is a higher vibrational state that is healing. It's the energy when we're feeling weary or in a difficult situation, we can lean into this energy and it will help replenish us. It is giving us the space. He's saying it's giving us the space to be able to do the self-care that we need, to work through whatever we're going through, to try and see a different perspective. That's the logical thinking part of it, trying to see a different perspective than we have been thinking, that we've been using up until now. And then letting go of the old perspectives so that you can see the new perspective and allow new energy to flow in to heal. Being asked to pull from the Angelic Lightwork Healing Oracles now. There's two cards here. Finding what was lost. When you don't know what to pray for. Finding what was lost when you don't know what to pray for. For some of you, so what I'm being shown, what was the name of the video? The name of the video I was given was We Get a Do-Over, Another Nudge Towards Our Purpose. So I feel like this has got to do with that. Metatron's saying yes. A lot of you might be asking, well, what is it? What was that nudge that I missed last week? When you don't know what to pray for, take a deep breath and focus in on this card. Allow the energy of the card to kind of go through your subconscious and to bring up the nudge that you maybe missed. The fleeting thought that you dismissed in some way. Then I'm being asked to show you this one. For some of you, you may have ancient knowledge within you that you don't remember. I'm being asked to show you this card so that you can focus in on the energy of this card and allow yourself to pull up the ancient knowledge that may help you remember what you forgot, or have not remembered yet. I'm going to continue, but for those of you that are watching this, and if you need more time with these cards, the energy of these cards, feel free to go back and pause the video and allow that energy to just come in to help you. It will stir up what it needs to stir up. And don't dismiss whatever is shown to you. Some of the knowledge that has come through from my own ancient history, ancient knowledge from my soul, has taken me down pathways I didn't expect. But once I started exploring it more, it just felt right. It felt like I was coming home. I picked up a book just before Christmas, and it just felt like home. It felt like my soul was going, yes. And everything that I've already read the book. I got it on Christmas Day, and I already read the book. And every page, just there was a knowing. And it was confirmation that every single thing, like little bits that I've gotten over the last 2 years, have aligned with that pathway. And I didn't even realize it. This is the journey. This is the journey. I'm hearing we are going through a gateway, a powerful, powerful gateway. Open yourself up to love. Loving yourself enough to explore the information that your soul has for you. Receive that information that is meant for you. Hearing messages from Spirit. These cards came up, all of these cards came up last week. I'm pretty sure these are exact same ones. And I just shuffled. It's a do-over. Why? Because it's so important that Spirit has said we need to follow the nudges. We need to walk towards our purpose. We need to learn what we are being asked to learn. It's that important. And so these do-overs are not just by chance. They are perfectly designed to guide you where you need to go. You just have to be in tune with those nudges and don't dismiss them. Look at what's on the bottom. Embracing the future. There's a gateway right there. It's a door. You know, I'm always showing a door. We have to purposely walk through that door. We don't just magically, there's some situations that our soul will take us through the door because it completely aligns with what our soul desires. Unless we choose to deny what our soul wants, and then there's other situations that happen. But for the most part, along our journey, like stepping towards our purpose, learning what we are being asked to learn, listening to those nudges, it's a doorway that's open. Sometimes it has neon flashing lights above it going, this one. Sometimes spirit pushes you towards the door or knocks you flat on your butt when you're trying to go through another one that's not meant for you. But the choice is ours always to walk through the door in the end. Will you walk through this door? Will you listen to the nudge and explore what's on the other side of the door with curiosity? Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Metatron. As always, that was powerful. Okay. Overview. Many have been led to choose new ways of thinking, new directions they could take for beliefs they had about themselves, others, and the life they are living. However, many chose to continue as they always have. They chose to keep the same beliefs that have got them to this point in their life. When I reflect on this, just this small little part of the message, I'm being shown that people have a certain picture of who they think they are, who they identify themselves as being. And that person may not be who your soul thinks you are. May not be who your soul thinks you could be, or who your soul identifies you as. There may be a large gap for some people. And so that growth, the larger the gap, the growth will be, the larger the growth that will be. So it may actually look like a very off the course beaten path for some people. Because you may have actually, I'll give you an example. I'll use myself. 2018 or 2017, I was an engineer. Had been for over 20 years. I am now a spiritual guide. I'm an intuitive mentor. I'm a Reiki master. Completely different spectrum in the world's eyes as to what my career is. Completely different pathways. Energetically, they're pretty aligned because I look at patterns, and so does an industrial engineer. Okay. The thing I'm getting at is, if I would only see myself as what I was, I would not have gotten to the point of where I am. I would not have gotten to the point where I'm aligned with my soul's journey. I would not have gotten to the point where my soul was aligned with my purpose, where I was aligned with my purpose. I was aligned with my soul. Now, in my case, my soul went, you're not going down that path anymore. It's time to wake up. And it took a harsh toll on my health in order to get me to that point. And I dug myself out of it, and I healed myself in massive ways to get to this point. Not everybody needs to do that route. And it certainly doesn't need to take, 4 years to get to that point. But what you are being asked to do is follow the nudges that you are being asked, whether they feel like they make sense or not. We are all at a point in our life where a physical transformation will be changing how we see ourselves and the life we are experiencing. However, this means we must weigh the choices we are making for our future and assess the impact it might have if we continue the way we always have. Instead of scheming or creating ways to do things out of hatred, pain, anger, resentment, and jealousy, it is time to understand and put into practice new actions that align with unconditional love. Small acts of kindness, compassion, patience, and decency towards yourself and others. This also includes not expecting others to be at the same point in their journey as you are in yours. In other words, their awareness to your needs may not be obvious to them. Heck, it is sometimes not obvious to ourselves if we are being honest with ourselves. How many times has Spirit actually nudged us towards something, to do something that would be for our highest good, but it wasn't obvious to us. We ignored it. We dismissed it. We said, nah, I'm not going to do that. Yet we expect others to treat us how we think they should treat us. We expect others to just inherently read our minds when we want them to do something for us. When it may not be in their train of thought. They may not have picked up those signals. And when we expect them to do it for us or be that way for us, and we didn't express it to them, we can't get upset if they don't do that because we've just set them up. Linda Malka and I did a whole video on what a setup is, and that's exactly the case. When someone's awareness to your needs isn't obvious to them, in other words, they're not aware of what your needs are, it's not obvious to them. We can't get upset about that because it's their journey. And we didn't do the due diligence to make our desires for wanting that from them known. And even if we had made that known, if they weren't able to do that for us, again, we have no control over what they can and cannot do for us. They're on their own journey. These are the steps needed to potentially birth a spiritual experience that lights your days and nights, creating a catalyst to moving you forwards and seeing your true purpose in its highest sense. In other words, don't get wrapped up in where other people are in their journey. Allow them to do their journey as they are. Work on yourself. Do what's good for yourself, but that doesn't mean that you treat other people like crap. It means you're aligning yourself with unconditional love, meaning that instead of doing things out of hatred, pain, anger, resentment, and jealousy, when you react to situations, you are putting into practice unconditional loving actions, which is small acts of kindness towards yourself and others. It is compassion for yourself and others. It is patience for yourself and others, and is decency towards yourself and others. Unconditional love is not giving it with the expectation that it will be received or given back to you in the same form. It is giving without conditions. It is receiving the unconditional love that Source has for us, knowing that we are not receiving it with conditions. We are receiving it unconditionally. Because it's always flowing through us. The only time we feel it's conditioned, or it is not being received, is because we have set limits on ourselves that have restricted the flow to us, which is possibly a trigger for this week. Okay, there are 3 messages that are also given to help us step into our power this week. So take notes, explore. If this video resonates with you in any way, please do like, share, subscribe. There are people that may not know about this video or this channel, and the shares help others in ways that you may don't even realize. First message. As you explore what the year ahead brings for you, you will notice the nudge to explore your purpose on a deeper level. Will you allow this exploration to unlock new ideas, new beliefs, and ignite new perspectives that have not been explored? Number 2, catalysts for change spiritually and physically are possible when we choose peace. When you feel off balance, find new ways to light up the path in small ways. Interdependence and symbiosis will be the key to helping you create the first steps towards your true purpose. What can you do to collaborate and co-create with others as you explore your talents and gifts and they do the same? Number 3. No, I'm being told to go back. Symbiosis. So I've talked about interdependence. I'm supposed to talk about symbiosis. Symbiosis is typically an example that's given by like 2 separate animal species. So a bird that is on the back of a wild animal, like a giraffe, and it's picking through the fur of the giraffe, trying, like, clearing the parasites and the other insects that would irritate the giraffe. Now, the giraffe could react to this bird pecking at it, thinking that it's attacking it, but it's actually helping it. So a giraffe that looks at things from a different perspective would welcome the help in clearing off those parasites and insects so that it feels cleaner and healthier. Same goes with each individual human. Each individual human, while we're all from the human race, we're all human beings, right? We are uniquely created with unique talents and gifts that actually can symbiotically help co-create things that are actually beautiful and healthy and serving to others, as well as serving to each other. Make sense? Number 3, a choice is needed this week. Will you see the spiritual experience that's leading you towards your highest purpose as something you can do? A higher perspective is needed, and the knowledge your soul has for you is waiting for you to explore. However, you may need to choose to see yourself as your soul knows you to be, not whom you've defined yourself to be. On that note, I wish you all much love. Take care, everyone. Love you loads. Happy New Year.